And when I think about transitional justice, I think it's important to first start thinking about the place and the time frame where transitional justice is being implemented. So thinking about the place means that it's important to think about specific institutions and how to define a mandate of specific institutions, but one should always think about the processes, and especially the political processes of this transition phase. So I think integrating socio-economic and cultural rights into the specific transitional justice institutions might be of relevance for a specific context also, like Tunisia. We have been also working on Colombia and countries in sub-Saharan Africa. So it very much depends whether socio-economic inequalities have been of relevance for the majority of the population. If it's relevant for them, you need to include this whole dimension of economic exclusion or discrimination of specific groups. What is important for me is don't only think about these transitional justice institutions. It might be much more interesting, but also challenging, to talk with the Ministry of Education, to reform the Ministry of Health, to have specific programs for marginalized regions, as it's the case in Tunisia, right? Or to have specific programs for victims of torture. So sometimes you do not need a specific institution. If you want to change a political culture of a given society or a nation, I think it's much more important to integrate the idea of a just and peaceful society into different already existing institutions, which is much harder, but still it's something worth to do. And finally, I think then it's not about a 2 years program or even a 5 years program. I'm coming from Germany. We are still discussing issues from the Second World War and more so from the unification of Germany in the 90s. So take your time and be patient. It's not going to be resolved in 2 years.